Hello and welcome to another edition of Sand Shark Bites, and to our new viewers on the County Channel, welcome for the first time perhaps. You could be a newcomer to the program. I'm Sports Information Director Justin Jarrett. I'll be your host along with my trusty co-host James Duffy. New Delta Chi man, I understand, the faculty advisor for the new fraternity on campus, Delta Chi. So adding to your ever-growing list of titles, as well as Sand Shark Bites co-host. And we're coming to you to give you the latest and greatest on the USCB Sand Sharks, and it certainly has been great so far this spring. Baseball off to an 8-1 start. Softball got off to a 4-0 start. Run rule victories in each one. They haven't even gone the distance yet. We'll talk more about that later with Coach Laura Heberling when she joins the program. But Duffy, we are off and running this spring.
It's really amazing. This is the best start I've seen, well, I think we've seen so far at all. The run differential has been amazing. The participation has been amazing. The number of players that are standing up and doing things as they support their team, and it's a mixture of rookies and it's seniors and it's everybody who's competing and working together. It's really been outstanding to see happen.
Yeah, we had Coach Brian Llewellyn on last week to talk Sand Shark baseball, and it was just more of the same this weekend. Took all three from Truett McConnell and then swept a doubleheader from Middle Georgia on Tuesday. So up to a 6-game winning streak now, 8-1 overall, and just getting it done. I mean, these guys go out there, and I think the thing that is different from this year, from last year, is just the heart and hustle, and these guys are giving it their all every game. You saw John Cloyd lay out for a ball in center field in the 7th inning with a 7-run lead yesterday. I mean, that's a kind of an emblematic play of the way these guys have played so far this season.
Well, and I think they know that with some of the seniors who left last year, there's still some spots that the ink may not be dry on that contract yet. And some of the younger players know that they could still work their way up to a starting position. Especially when you're playing 4 games in 2 days, you might get to rotate through a little bit faster.
Yeah, and we'll see. A big weekend a big weekend coming up this weekend. A nice test, a good measuring stick. First conference weekend. Warner's coming in. USCB, which now seems kind of short-sighted, picked 8th in the conference in the preseason. Warner picked 7th, so that gives you an idea of kind of where you are. And then St. Thomas coming in the following weekend. They were picked 3rd in the conference, right on the bubble of the top 25. So these next 2 weekends, we're going to find out a lot about the Sand Sharks, and if it continues the way it's gone so far, I think we're going to like the results.
We're going to like being warmed up, and the bats are hot, and the gloves are loose, and the players are all excited to be there and to see this real competition come in this weekend. This is going to be where they're tested.
And the pitching's been outstanding. The great thing about Tuesday against Middle Georgia, that team came in averaging over 12 runs a game, 2nd in the nation, and USCB didn't use its top 2 pitchers, Junior De La Torre or Jamie Strock. And the guys they did use shut them down, gave up a total of 6 runs in the 2 games, threw a 1-hitter in the 2nd game. So pretty impressive to cool off those bats. They scored 42 runs in 3 games against Thomas, which is also in the conference. So that's a good harbinger. And
good to see Willis Dobson bounce back from his first appearance wasn't so good. He gave up like 5 hits in 1 inning in that home opener, and to see him come back and put on a much better show in this last performance was good to see.
We're seeing that bullpen depth that Coach Llewellyn talked about. And speaking of depth, that Sand Shark softball team, we'll talk about that with Coach Heberling a little bit later, but she can shuffle in any number of players. The lineup's different every game, and there's no drop-off. I mean, there are so many interchangeable parts there. It's going to be fun to watch that team throughout the season. They got a lot of firepower.
Yeah, and her corner players, she's got 5 corner players that are all rotating through trying to get that starting job, and she's got a lot of depth to work with in that defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, it seems like her strategy at this point is to make sure everybody stays sharp. Get them a little bit of work each doubleheader. Don't wear them down. We had a lot of injuries late in the season last year, and I think wear and tear was a lot of that. Mm-hmm. So you play 1 game and get the second one off, except maybe a pinch hit or something like that. But getting everybody a little bit of work, keeping them sharp, keeping them focused, and so far so good. We'll see how they do.
The pitching there too, Christy Cook and Ashley Lehman, to get really great starts from them, and then
absolutely
see some of the freshmen come in afterwards.
Yeah, Allie Rogers has gone in there twice and pitched 2 scoreless innings and looked good doing it, so that's a very good sign. Kendall Jumper, a little banged up right now. We haven't seen her yet, but she'll be coming along too, and got a year of experience under her belt. So it's going to be an exciting season of Sand Shark softball for sure. We're looking forward to it, although we won't see them for over a month now. March 13th will be the next time they're at home. So a long few road trips. It's not a single road trip. They're not out of town for a month, but
when they're back, they're going to be back.
Action
they'll
here.
be here a lot. So it'll be a little bit warmer. The weather will be a little bit nicer for softball. When they're back, we'll have a few weekends in a row. We'll be able to go down to Hardyville and watch them play.
Can't imagine we'd have a better crowd than we did on opening day, though. The stands were packed. Great support from the community, from the students. We've seen that all spring. The student athletes and as well as the student body at large coming out and really supporting the teams, and it's great to see. You know, we have a lot of pride in our Sand Sharks here, and it's good to see that feeding, flowing down to the student body as well.
Yeah, the community's really taking off around athletics and around school spirit in general. We're just not too long ago, this was really a commuter campus still, and now with 650 students living on campus and the new addition of the Student Recreation Center and the proposal in front of the legislature right now to get a new classroom building built. The campus is changing so much, and students are sticking around, and they're proud of their players, and it's great.
And if you haven't been to campus, find a reason to come out. You don't really need one. You can come out anytime. We'll show you around and show you all that we have to offer. So many people think we just that building off 278, but there's so much more here. Like James said, over 600. Called him James. That's so strange. Like Duffy said, over 600 students living on campus, which is that in itself is a lot of activity and a lot of life on campus. So come check it out. One more thing to get to that I almost overlooked. It wasn't a team event, but the men's golf team got started on Monday and Tuesday, and Judd Malam leading the way. What an impressive performance for him. Junior golfer goes and fires, 68, 71, 72, I believe. Finished at 5 under par, was the runner-up in the Savannah Quarters individual intercollegiate, and USCB the only NAIA school in that. That was a lot of Division I schools. A young man from Kennesaw State edged him by 1 shot. There were guys from South Carolina, South Florida, North Florida, Mercer, Chattanooga, Georgia Southern. I mean, this was a loaded field.
It's great to see.
Judd played great.
Yeah, one of our guys just come out and do so well in day 1, day 2. And
yeah, fantastic. And
still
Brad
write his
Curran.
Paper for English 102 this morning here
there we
bright
go.
and early.
Students first.
So you got to be a student first. Show up with your paper due.
So kudos to you, Judd. Brad Curran also with the top 10 finish there. So, the guys got off to a good start. Some of them had some struggles, but it's good to knock the rust off, get that those first 3 tournament rounds under your belt, and then first team event coming up on Monday and Tuesday down at Coastal Georgia. So the women will get started same bat time, same bat channel down at Coastal Georgia. So we'll keep an eye on that. We'll fill you in next week on how they do. And track and field still a couple of weeks away, except for the marathoners. They went and ran Saturday at the Tybee Run Fest, the half marathon, and 3 of them qualified for nationals. That'd be Betsy Douglas with the A standard on the women's side, and she was the runner-up in the women's race to Joyce Miller, another Sand Shark. She's out of eligibility, but so she was not competing for us, but still representing us in a way. And Anthony Vecchio and Nick O'Neill on the men's side also qualified, although marathon not their number 1 event. So hopefully they will qualify in other events that they will then compete in at the national level. You don't go messing around with the marathon and other events. It's one or the other.
And just on the track and field side, I had a discussion with our coach Larry and said, and I was thinking, like, what else do we need? I mean, we'd like to have a full track facility here one day. We'd like to have a track that encircles the soccer field with the grandstands and bleachers and things. And I'd had a discussion with one player who believed we had a shortage of shot to put. And so I was talking to Larry about how we do a fundraiser for getting that. He said, well, we don't really need those. What we need is a javelin. And so I've started a jug of change on my on my desk. That is a change of the coins in your pocket, but also change for the community at large. Kumbaya. And so we're looking to try and get the field team, I guess, a new javelin for.
How much does a javelin set you back?
$170.
Wow, $170.
Got about $15 and change in the jug of change right now.
Well, we'll try to get some more contributions to that and see if we can't get a new javelin for our javelin throwers,
yes,
our javelinas.
Javelinas.
Not sure what they're called.
That's the wild pig.
Javelinas.
That's
yes,
wrong.
I believe so.
So anyhow, we're trying to do all these kind of things here on campus.
Whatever we can do around here, we gotta pull together. the branch campus doesn't always get the funding that we need. So we have our wish list, our wants, our needs, and we try to mesh them together whenever we can.
Exactly.
Well, that's kind of the snapshot of what's happening with the Sand Sharks. Like I said, it's been a great start to the spring. Everything off and running, and everybody has really been successful thus far. We hope to keep that up, and we'll talk about some of that success in more detail in just a few minutes here when Coach Laura Heberling from the Sand Shark softball team joins us here on Sand Shark Bites. Welcome back to Sand Shark Bites. I'm now joined by Sand Shark softball coach Laura Heberling for a little coach speak. And Coach, you're off and running. You had your first weekend of the season, got it in the books, and 4 big wins, and haven't gone the distance yet. Run rule victories in all 4. Has to feel good to not only get off to a hot start, but such convincing victories this weekend.
Yeah, we were really excited. Starting the weekend, our games actually got pushed back and time-wise, so the girls were just waiting. And when we got to the field and we were warming up, everybody, the excitement, people couldn't sleep, and that's the feeling that we should feel every single day that we wake up and head into the softball field. But they went there. The first couple innings were a little shaky. I was a little nervous, and then we were just ready to start the season, so we were pretty pumped.
Yeah, pretty impressive start. Once again, only gave up a couple of runs the whole weekend, won each game by the 8-run rule, didn't have to go the full 7, so dominant performance. And the best thing was everybody was involved. I don't think you had the same lineup twice, used a lot of pinch hitters, used a lot of pitchers, got freshman Allie Rogers in there, got her a little bit of work, and everybody rose to the occasion. So I know you're excited about the depth you have on this team.
Yeah, I'm really excited about the depth, and even the players, I gave them the speech that not everybody's going to have their best day. There's going to be a day where maybe you woke up and you just weren't feeling the best, and, you thought you were going to be out there. And but what's so neat is how pumped they are for the next person that is going to, maybe hit in their spot or play in their spot or pitch in their spot, that they really just understand what it's going to take to get to the end. And I saw it this week, just the excitement in the dugout, on the field, prep to game time. People were just ready to make an impact and make this a successful start for the opening weekend.
Now, we knew this was going to be a potent lineup, but I think we picked up on something that's maybe contributing to it. Allie Simmons, your first base coach, she had a little baggie down there at first base, and when somebody got to first base, they got some kind of almost looked like she was passing out dog treats down there or something. What's going on there? Is that on the up and up?
Actually, it was kind of neat. Someone got to first base, and Allie didn't tell me what was going to be happening. And I look over, and I'm like, what is she handing out to the players? They're on base, and she said Skittles, and I was like, that's awesome. So every time they do something successful, get on first base, they get a Skittle. It's when they pass second base and they don't get a Skittle, they're upset. So Kara in the dugout has Skittles ready for the players who hit doubles, triples, home runs. But it's really neat that Allie went ahead and did something like this. And because actually I did this in grad school as a coach. When my team would come in with out giving up a run, everybody would get a Skittle. So I thought this was a really neat step for Coach Simmons, getting them engaged and getting them excited to get to first base. Now I want them to get to second, but I don't want them to stay on first and wait for their Skittle. But it's really neat. And, it's about having fun and enjoying what we're doing out on the field. So
now we have a line item on the budget for Skittles, rewards. We got to reward everybody with their treats. Yes. Making the first road trip this week, heading up to Bruton Parker on Friday. Going to be a pretty good test up there. They've usually got a pretty good ball club, and should start to get you prepared for what's ahead, which is we won't see you at home until March 13th. It's right. Crazy the way the schedule falls this year. A couple big tournaments coming up. Kind of set the stage for us with Bruton Parker this weekend, and then looking ahead to those tournaments in Columbus, Georgia, and Gulf Shores, Alabama.
Yeah, we're going to Bruton this Friday, and then the following Friday we're going to go to Coastal, Georgia, and play. And then we're going to be in Columbus, Georgia at the NFCA NAI Leadoff Classic. Top teams from around the country are invited to go play and compete against each other. There's going to be some great talent. People ranked in the top 25 receiving votes, finished top in opening round last year, as well as going to Gulf Shores, Alabama the following weekend, and we're going to be facing back to the same type of ranked teams. And our girls are competitive and want this and want to be seen and put USCB on the map, not just in this area but all over. So we're ready to go out there and and compete.
Talk about putting USCB on the map. You've got those 9 seniors who have been here since the start. They've certainly put this program on the map. I mean, you've already been to an opening round championship game, ranked 24th in the nation right now to start the season. Those 9 seniors, I mean, you just can't overvalue what kind of leadership you get from that big senior class, right?
Right. They've been here, and actually they're the one, I gave my pregame speech and I talked about, each class is a little bit different, but that senior class is that senior class that has stuck together from day one, when 21 freshmen were brought in, and then 9 of them stuck through it. And what gets me so excited is the traditions that they're handing down. I told them, juniors, you came in the next year and you started the traditions with them, and then the sophomores, and then told the freshmen, now it's your job to carry on their traditions, because they're going to come back in a year to 2 to 3 years as alumni and see the same things. And, that's what it's about in the end of the day, building as a program. And I can't thank those 9 seniors enough, and to the rest of the team for buying into whatever we're doing as a whole, and enjoying the moment. So.
Well, they're going to be on the road until March 13th. You can follow along at uscbathletics.com. We'll have recaps of all the games. We'll get you updates as much as we can on Twitter and Facebook, USCB Athletics on Twitter. We'll try to pass along all that we can from the road. Sometimes it's a little hard to get information from the road, but we'll do our best. This team, always cooperative. If nothing else, Coach Heberling will hand somebody your cell phone and have them tweet from the dugout. So we'll make sure we keep you posted on that. Keep up with them, and then come out on March 13th and see them play Bryan College back at home. Yes. And, Coach, good luck out on the road. Make us proud and come back with some impressive victories.
Thank you, JJ.
Thanks so much for joining us. We'll be right back with more here on Sandshark Bites.
At the University of South Carolina, Beaufort, we offer small classes, individual attention, and an affordable education in an atmosphere that fosters diversity and achievement.
We are students.
We field 9 Sandshark sports teams that compete in the Sun Conference.
We are athletes.
We are one university with 2 campuses serving the coastal areas of South Carolina and Georgia.
We are the Low Country.
We are the fastest growing 4-year school in the University of South Carolina system. We are USCB.
Well, thanks so much to Coach Heberling for joining us. Always fun to talk to her, and that team's got some interesting little quirks. The Skittles thing just cracks me up. We were trying to figure out in the press box all weekend, what is Allie doing out there? She's got a bag of something she's handing out to people when they get down to first base. So that's pretty par for the course for Sandshark softball.
Like a trainer at the SEAL show or something like that. Here you go.
Yeah, pepperonis.
Pepperonis for you.
So yeah, always interesting to catch up with them. They're a fun group. I've traveled with them before, and they're a lot of fun and hilarious and keep you in stitches. Got some characters. Ashley Lehman, she's a riot. Chelsea Blassingame. They've got some fun ones. In fact, they had a lot of fun yesterday, Tuesday out at the baseball game. The guys from PEP, Programs for Exceptional People, came out to the ball game, which they do pretty often. They always have a good time out there. But the softball girls kind of took them under their wing and were, having a good time with them, dancing with them between innings. Took them down to the batting cage, let them get in some cuts. So they had a lot of fun, and that's just right up that team's alley. I mean, they love to engage, and they had a lot of fun out there.
It really is a great team. It's a great group of players there, and here on campus and on the field, they're pretty phenomenal. The seniors make me sad to think about when they're going to leave, and then right behind them there's a big bunch of juniors too that are going to make me sad next year when they leave.
I think the seniors are pretty sad too. I mean, I think it's starting to hit home for them. Once that final season begins, it starts to really take hold, and but now they're focused on playing ball and hopefully having a very exciting and successful senior season, one they won't soon forget.
Trying to run some of them down to help them update their resumes before they graduate, and I think they're just a little too afraid that the real world's coming up right when this season ends.
It awaits.
It awaits.
Well, with all that said, will it be a softball player for Player of the Week this week? That's always how we close things out here, the Player of the Week. And I hate to say it, Sandshark softball, but I'm going back to the baseball team this week.
Really?
Yeah.
We got a guy winning hardware, and you're going to give it to somebody on the baseball team.
Well, he only won second place.
Okay.
Yeah. Judd was second place. We already talked about him a lot.
Okay.
So I'm going to go baseball, and I'm going to go Ashley Morris.
Yeah, well,
Because
if anybody does deserve it,
Nobody can get Ashley Morris out.
You can't get him out. You can't get a ball past him. He's doing offensive and defensive plays.
Ashley is just dominating the baseball game right now. I mean, he looks like a man among boys, which is funny because when he came to us, he was such a little beanpole freshman shortstop. I thought, well, this guy's going to be a pretty good defensive shortstop, but he'll hit his weight, which is not very much. But
I keep seeing him around campus, and in my head, he's still 6'7", 135.
He still looks like he's about 14 years old in the face, but he has filled out.
Yeah.
He has become a man, and the opposing pitchers don't want to mess with him. I'm going to tell you that right now. He's up over 500 now, leading the team as of this morning, Wednesday morning. He had 19 hits, which ranks second in the nation in NAIA. Now, we've played more games than some teams have, the northern schools, but still number 2 in the nation in hits, and outstanding at shortstop. I mean, he has made some plays that would make Derek Jeter weep. I'm not even kidding. His range is beyond Jeter's, and his arm is ridiculous right now. He's thrown some BBs across the diamond to get guys by 3 or 4 steps on what should be a close play. So, Ashley Morris, I know we've talked about your walk-up song, but keep doing what you're doing. Walk-up song's a little questionable. That's the only strike against Ashley right now. Probably didn't know any better. He probably never listened to the lyrics. He likes the beat. But we're going to find him an instrumental version because we don't want to mess with his mojo. Ashley, keep swinging that bat, keep throwing guys out at first, and Sandshark Baseball is going to keep winning a whole bunch of games. Well, that's going to do it for us this week on Sandshark Bites. We thank you for coming along for the ride, and we'll see you next week. Until then, keep those fins up.